How was pregnancy and delivery? I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not one of those people who are like, I felt like a goddess. Things were so good. Wow, what a beautiful time in my life. It was challenging. I found it very, very challenging. I found it extremely, extremely challenging. Hello, testing the mic. Yo, this is the second or third test I've done because for whatever reason my microphone is not connecting. I know I have not shot in a while, but it hasn't been that long. Let's not do this, please. Anyways, guys, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ella Harry. If you are new to my channel, I'm excited that you're here. If you're not new, thank you so much for coming back. So you read the title. Yes, I had a baby. It has been exciting, nerve-wracking, crazy, all the words in the book. So let's talk about it. Okay, so I actually never posted anything about this on YouTube, and that is because I'm still in the process of trying to make YouTube my primary platform. So usually if there's like a life update or anything, I post it on Instagram because that is the platform that I'm used to being on. Like, I'm not going to lie, I actually do like Instagram. But anyways, so yeah, I had a baby, bruh. The fact that I'm even saying that out is insane to me. Every day I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe. Every day I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe. And then she starts crying and I'm just like, oh, this is actually very real. This is actually very real. You guys should let me know if you ever had that. Like, if you've had kids, like at what point did it start feeling real to you? Because I'm just like, how am I responsible for a whole human being? Like, waiting they will call for here. How did we get here? I've never had a life experience that was exciting, at the same time nerve-wracking, at the same time emotional, at the same time, like, it's just like all the things. So not just pregnancy, but also like postpartum as well is such an interesting time that, like, bruh, the biggest thing that I used to tell my friends when they had kids that I need to also start like taking my own advice is just giving myself more grace, especially if you're a first-time mom, because nobody knows what they're actually doing. You're just figuring it out. But overall, it's been good. I'm starting to feel more like myself, which is why I'm like getting back into filming and doing things that actually make me feel like me. And I also try to do things that are not baby related. Like for my mental health, I love my child, but I think sometimes it's nice to like get out of the house and talk to other adults, or like go do other things that are not baby related. I feel like that has helped me a lot with my mental health, where I can do stuff and then come back and actually be with my child. So yeah, it's been nice. In this video, I'm actually going to be answering some of the questions that I got on Instagram. I figured that this would be a nice way to kind of give you guys the life update and have like a chit chat, like whatever that looks like. Also, I feel weird holding my mic like this. I actually cringe when people do that, when they're holding my mic like that. Like, I'm just like, can you tuck that in somewhere, girl? Like, what's actually going on? I actually cringe. I don't know why I find it very cringy, but I'm going to find a way to tuck the microphone in somewhere and then we can have a conversation. But before I go any further, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Yes, I was away for like a month, but the goal is still the same. We're trying to hit 5K subscribers before the end of the year, and I believe that we can do it. So smash that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up if you found it beneficial. Also, let me know in the comments, like, if there's anything that you can relate to or any comments that you have. I don't know, let me know in the comments. Okay, so on Instagram, I told y'all to ask me anything because I hadn't done that in a while. Obviously, like, I was off social media, well, off Instagram. So I hadn't done that in a while. Anyways, I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I got. The first and the biggest question is, how are you doing? And honestly, I'm just going to say that no 2 days are ever the same. I'm doing pretty good. I'm actually doing much better than I was when I was pregnant, believe it or not, because people were like, oh, get your sleep now. Whatever you can do, do it now. When the baby gets here, blah, 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 blah. I'm actually having a much better time. I'm actually having a much better time, which is so crazy to me, but I already knew that I was going to have a much better time because I even told my husband, I was like, bro, like, I feel like postpartum would be much better than this. Like, this is the ghetto. This is so ghetto. So yeah, I'm doing really good, but again, I feel like I'm trying to take it one day at a time. No 2 days are ever the same. Like some days I'll wake up and I'm like having a good day, everything's good. You know, it's just like, it's a nice chill day. The baby's happy, we're all happy, things get done. And then there's some days where I'm just like, bro, first of all, I didn't sleep well. The baby is cranky. There are things that did not get done. I'm not feeling okay. Hormones are also playing a huge part. Like, no 2 days are ever the same, but in the grand scheme of things, I would say that I am doing okay. And I think I've also started like trying to take steps to work on my mental health, because I know how things can spiral very quickly when you're in postpartum. Like, yes, it's my first child, but again, like, I've been around a lot of people who have kids. A lot of my friends have kids. And I think also working in mental health as well, like, I know what could happen in postpartum. You could struggle with postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety, postpartum psychosis. Like, there's a whole like myriad of things that you could actually struggle with. It is such a difficult time. So I'm trying my possible best to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and taking care of my mental health so that I can actually be well enough to take care of my child. And the next question that I got asked was, how was pregnancy and delivery? I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not one of those people who are like, I felt like a goddess. Things were so good. Wow, what a beautiful time in my life. Don't get me wrong, I'm grateful to God. It is actually a privilege. It is a privilege to be able to get pregnant, have the child, you be alive, the child be alive. Like, it is a huge, huge, huge privilege, and I do not take it for granted. Like, I'm grateful that I got that experience, but I'm also not going to be like, wow, I enjoyed it, was the most perfect time. It was challenging. I found it very, very challenging. I found it extremely, extremely challenging. It also forced me to slow down as well, which I guess could be a good thing. But for me, I'm generally a healthy person. Like, I used to eat properly, I used to work out, I used to drink water, mind my business, go to therapy. Like, I was taking care of myself even before I got pregnant, even before I got married. Like, I was always just like a generally healthy person. Like, I almost never fell sick. Like, maybe the headache here and there, a slight flu here and there, but even that, like, I do be taking my flu shot. So I'm not getting knocked down by the flu every 2 business days, right? So being pregnant and then feeling so sick was just like, I'm like, nope, 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 nope. Get somebody else to do it. Get somebody else to do it. The first trimester was very interesting. It was also pretty rough as well, but it was a different kind of rough. I was sick, I had a bunch of symptoms, the anxiety was next level. And then second trimester was actually not too terrible. There were a few weeks where I had energy, I was batching content, I was doing things, I was going out with friends, I was trying to get myself like out of the house, because when I was pregnant, I would dress up, I would do my makeup. If my friends invited me somewhere, I'm like, I'm going. Not once did I say, oh, I'm too tired, I'm too pregnant. Of course, like, if I was tired, I listened to my body, but I tried as much as possible to keep up with things that actually brought me joy. But there were things that also like slacked. There were things that just didn't work out. And there were times where I just felt like I had to abandon everything to take care of myself. So the second trimester was, you know, fairly manageable. I would say it was decent. Now, towards the end of the second trimester, before I got to third trimester, things just started to take a very interesting turn. I had the worst back pain, the worst pelvic pain, and I'm talking like I could not move. Like, I couldn't walk for longer than 5 minutes. I could not walk for longer than 5 minutes. I couldn't stand. I couldn't get in and out of the bed. Even when I would go pee multiple times at night, my husband had to come out. If I woke up 5 times at night, my husband had to come around, get me out of the bed. I'll go use the washroom, and then he will put me back in bed. Like, it was so ghetto. And then at some point, I couldn't even sleep in bed because I could not breathe. Like, for whatever reason, I could not breathe, even if I was sleeping on my side. So I had to actually start sleeping, like sitting upright, like sitting down and sleeping. That was how I was sleeping. And so, of course, like, I wasn't getting as much sleep, and I was in pain a lot. I tried pelvic floor physio, I tried chiro, I tried acupuncture, I was doing massage every week. Like, it was just a lot. And then towards the end, I got diagnosed with preeclampsia, but then that came with a whole bunch of complications. So my child actually got delivered like earlier than my due date, which was a whole thing. But anyways, long story short, it was such a challenging time in my life. Like, I was crying literally every day I was crying. Literally every day I was crying. If there was one day that I went without crying, my husband was like, whew, a record. We're doing good, girly. Let's keep this going. I was crying every single day. And I remember my sister would call my husband to be like, oh, has she cried today? Or are there tears today? What can we do? Like, it was I don't even know what I would have done without my family members, like my husband, my sister, my siblings, my like my friends. I don't know how I would have even survived that time in my life. Like, it was really crazy. So how was pregnancy and labor and delivery and all that? It was challenging. It was challenging. So much so that it actually makes postpartum feel like a vacation. Like, I'm here and I'm just like, wow, like postpartum feels like I'm on a vacation, like a chaotic one where I'm just like, bro, like there's so many things going on, but still like so much better than whatever I was experiencing a few months ago. How is the baby? Is it a girl or a boy? Will you do a face reveal of the baby? And I also answered this on Instagram. I'm like, she's doing great, she's thriving, she's living her best life. Honestly, has just like the funniest personality. I can't even. Will I be doing a face reveal? No, not really. Like, I have no desire to put my child on social media, like her face on social media or any information about her on social media. You're probably not going to know my child's name. Like, I just don't want to do that. And I don't really see the point. Like, personally, like as a content creator, I genuinely don't see the value in sharing my child's information online. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that. I just don't see why that would be valuable. Like, so no, I'm not going to be doing that. But of course, like, you might see things like, oh, how to travel with a child, things you need if you're traveling with a child. But again, it won't be, I'm not turning my page into a mommy and me type of situation. Like, I'm just not, that's just, I don't want to do that. So yeah, that's kind of where things are at. The next question is, this question was from my friend, so we're going to ignore it. She was like, are you excited to see me? She actually came to see me and she spent time with me and the baby, and we talked and we laughed, and it was actually really nice. And then there was another question here, not necessarily relating to pregnancy, but just asking if I have taken my psychologist exam. So I haven't really talked about it much on my channel, but I graduated with my master's degree in psychology last year. So I'm actually in the process of being a registered psychologist. This involves taking an exam, doing hours, it's a whole bunch of things. But I'm hoping that with mat leave and me being off work for a year, I'm going to use this time to actually figure out my licensing situation. And there was another question here about birth story. Am I going to share the birth story? Honestly, at some point, I'm sure I will. But it was a lot of stuff. There were too many, there's so much to unpack. So many things that I have to unpack with my therapist first before I unpack on the internet. Like, it was just a lot. So yeah, I don't know if I'll share that just yet. Okay, so this one was like, what are your top 3 favorites and least favorite things and experiences about postpartum? And I think the first thing for me is the fact that I actually like sleep better. I feel better. I'm having a much better time now that I'm no longer pregnant. I don't feel as sick. I'm not in pain. I'm actually sleeping. Like, I'm having a much better time. So that has been one of my favorite things. The second thing is I am actually obsessed with my child. Like, I love spending time with her. I think she's super cute. Like, I just feel like everything she does is just so cute. And maybe it's a new parent thing, I don't know. But I actually really enjoy like spending time with my child and getting to know her. And I'm just really excited about the future. I guess the third thing that is also my favorite is the fact that my husband and I have a stronger relationship. So even throughout the pregnancy, like, it was just different. Like, the marriage was just so much stronger, and then like leading up to like giving birth to the child, like, it was just so much stronger. Not to say that issues do not come up, because I feel like adding a child into the mix of like any relationship will shake things a little bit, because this is just new territory, especially if you're both first-time parents. Like, there's so much going on in such a short time that it's hard for it not to like affect the marriage, or it's hard for people not to get into like fights and disagreements and stuff like that. But I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it has just made the relationship stronger. And yeah, I love this for us. I actually do love this for us. 3 of my least favorite things. One being just like the breastfeeding challenges. when you're pregnant, you have all these ideas. I'm going to pump, I'm going to breastfeed, you add all these things to your register, you buy all these things, and then reality actually hits, and you're just like, oh wait, like I'm not making any breast milk, oh, the child is not latching, like what is going on? So just having different breastfeeding challenges has just been very, very, very stressful. I talk about it with my husband, like even while I was pregnant, I think even before I got pregnant, I've always told myself that a fed child is better than a starving child. So in my head, I'm just like, if it doesn't work out, I am okay using formula to feed my child. Like I am okay. Like I literally have always been of that notion. I know moms who weren't able to breastfeed. I have friends who formula fed their babies. The babies are thriving. Like you can't even tell if they were breastfed or formula fed. However, like being in this situation, I didn't realize how like stressed out I would be, because I'm just like, girl, you told yourself that you would not let this affect you if it didn't work out. So why is it affecting you? And I feel like it's just something about putting so much effort, trying different things, trying all the lactation cookies, the body armor, the this, the that. Like there are just so many things that I tried for it to work out, and it is a struggle. Like it is a struggle. So that has been one of my least favorite things. The second thing is just like being in a situation where I have conversations with elders about how things were done 30 years ago versus how things are done now. I don't really like going back and forth with people, but something about having conversations with people where I know that, you know, you're stuck in your ways and I'm stuck in mine, but like this is also my child, so like where do we go from here? I don't really like being in those situations because like it's just uncomfortable for me. It's just uncomfortable for me, especially with elders. Let me know if you get what I'm saying. I feel like I'm trying to be, how do I say it? Diplomatic, I think that's the word. But it's one of those sticky situations where on one hand you have to set boundaries, because at the end of the day you are the parent, and what you say as the parent goes. Nobody should be able to tell you what you should do about your child if that's not what you want to do. Like, do you understand? So if you're like, oh, you should do this for your child, if I'm like, no, actually I don't want that for my child, like nobody should be able to tell you otherwise. On the other hand though, you also have to kind of be respectful and do it in a way that doesn't make it seem like you don't value this person. So I think just being in that situation and having different conversations has just been, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm just like, wrap this up. I don't like this. I don't like this. Last thing that I'm going to talk about is just the unpredictability of it all. Like, no 2 days are ever the same. Every day that I wake up, I literally don't know what kind of day I'm going to have. I can tell myself, oh, Essie, today is going to be a good day, and I will make sure that I try my hardest to make it a good day. But babies are so unpredictable. They're so unpredictable. So you just don't know what kind of day you're going to have. Before I had kids, I was like, I'll wake up, go to my gym at 5 a.m., have a nice little breakfast, like, I knew exactly what to expect. But now you're just like, you know, when people say, oh, take it one day at a time, literally, when you're postpartum or when you have kids, you literally do have to take it one day at a time. How long before you were feeling up to going out and being up and about? Honestly, I would say it took me a solid month. For some people, it could be longer. For some people, it could actually be shorter. Some people have said that literally 1 week, 2 weeks, they were back to working out, they were grocery shopping, doing that. That was not me. That was not my experience, because 1 week after I gave birth, I was actually still in the hospital. So that was not my experience at all. But whatever that looks like for you, I think the biggest thing is to just listen to your body and listen to how you are feeling. If you feel like you're ready to go out and hit the streets, do you, boo. If you feel like you need 3 more months, you do what you need to do. And then another question here is, what are some of the pregnancy symptoms that you had? Bruh, like I had many symptoms like throughout the pregnancy. Some of them showed up at the beginning, so like first trimester. Some of them were more like third trimester. But some of the symptoms that I had, bro, I actually made a list, which is so wild. Like, I don't know why I made a list, but I did make a list. So headaches, nausea, waist pain, back pain. I was shivering, and the shivering would literally cause pain. Congested nose, cramps, vibrations in my left leg, which was so weird and so random. Vibrations in my stomach, and no, it wasn't the child moving, because at that point, the child did not have any limbs, so I could not feel anything. They didn't have limbs. So that was interesting. Vivid dreams, severe anxiety. Like I was so anxious, especially during my first trimester, I was like, bro, like I can't function. Like I was so anxious, more anxious than I would be with anything else. So that was interesting. I was always tired, but this is normal. Sleeping a lot. One day I slept for 16 hours. I could not believe it. Mind you, I'm the kind of person that only needs like 6 hours of sleep. If I sleep for 8 hours, I start to feel sick, like physically sick, like I slept too much, right? But I slept for 16 hours. I woke up and still felt tired. Like I was like, this cannot be real. This can't be real. That's crazy. And then weight gain, even just like the months that I found out I was pregnant, I was 143 pounds. At the end of my pregnancy, I was 228 pounds. So I gained roughly what, like 80 pounds, 60 pounds, which was actually so wild to me because I did not expect to gain that much weight. But you know what? It's fine. It's weight. We can lose the weight. I'm not too worried about losing the weight. What else? Chest pain, difficulties breathing, extreme back pain, tremors, high blood pressure. So I was diagnosed with preeclampsia, so my blood pressure was insane. Kidney issues, liver issues, memory loss, edema, like my body was swollen. Unbelievable. Like it was insane, like unbelievable. So that was crazy. Isolation, I felt really isolated, and it's not even because I didn't have any support. Like I have a good support system. I have my husband, I have my family, I have amazing friends. Like my support system is like on point, but I was just always in my head a lot, so it just felt really isolated. Okay, so another question that I got is, what has been the biggest lesson so far? Like what have you learned from postpartum and motherhood? Actually, let me read it the way they sent it. They said, how do you feel being a home mother? What has this new phase taught you already? And I was just like, it's exciting. I love being a mom. It's also a huge learning curve. There's so much that you have to learn, so much that you didn't even know about babies. But it's been an exciting journey for sure. Like I love it here. I love it here. Something else that I've also learned is that if you're someone who is like a high achiever, you're somebody who is ambitious, you like to be able to achieve things, you're like hyper productive, postpartum is going to make you feel like you're failing at life. Postpartum is going to make you feel like you're failing, like you're not doing enough, like you're like not just doing things that you should be doing, even though like really and truly like the primary focus should be taking care of you and taking care of your child. Postpartum will make you feel like you're failing because, like I said, you wake up every day. Some days you don't even achieve the things on your to-do list. You don't even get to do those things. Some days success looks like feeding the child and feeding yourself. You're like, the child is fed, the child is happy. That's what success looks like for me today. But if you're someone who is used to like achieving a bunch of things, or if you're someone who like is a career person and you liked hitting goals and smashing goals, you are going to feel like you're failing. You're going to question whether or not you're doing enough as a mom. The reality is you probably are. It's just that it's a very different phase of life. And that's why I never understood when people are like, oh yeah, like being a mom is a job. It's more than a job. It's more than a job, but we're going to unpack that later. Like it's a whole different thing. A job you can resign, a job you have PTO, a job you can clock in at 9 and clock out at 5. A job you can set goals and be like, oh, today in the office I'm going to do XYZ, and you can get them done. When you're somebody's mother, especially in the first few weeks and months of life, you don't really get to, it doesn't work that way. Like it really doesn't. So I think that has been the biggest thing, is just redefining what success looks like for me and redefining what productivity looks like for me in this phase of my life. I think the second thing, and this is probably the most important, is the person that you choose to marry. The person you choose to marry can actually make or break your motherhood experience. Can actually make your pregnancy experience, your motherhood experience. Like, please, I beg you, like, do not just marry anybody. Do not marry anybody. Do not have a child with just anybody, because you're actually going to see shege. You are actually going to see shege if you end up just like marrying anybody or saying, oh yeah, like all my friends are getting married, so like let me. take your time. Like, actually take your time. Be very, very picky, because like this is one of the biggest decisions that you will make for yourself and also for your child as well. So you want to end up with somebody who like is not just looking for a wife and looking for somebody to be a mother to their children, but somebody who actually wants to be a husband and a father. I feel like I would have never survived this experience if I did not have my husband. If I wasn't married to my husband, I feel like this would have been a much different experience, and not in a good way, because he made this experience like so much better. Like, I was just like, bro, like I cannot even imagine a world where I was married to somebody else. Like, I just can't imagine what that would have looked like for me. So please, like, take your time, be picky. If they say your standards are too high, it has to be. Because guess what? You can choose a husband, but you know who cannot choose? The children that you're going to give birth to. So it is your job to actually make sure that you pick a good person for them. So I just feel like this whole experience was just so much better because of my husband. I'm so grateful to God for him. Like, he's quite literally the best decision I have ever made in my life. Like, he is the best decision I've made, not just for my child, but also like for myself, for my life. The best decision I've made. Like, zero regrets. So I feel like that's something that this phase of life has taught me. I knew that before I got pregnant, but it became clearer like when I got pregnant and had the baby and just going through this. I'm just like, wow. Like, long story short, like, please do not marry anybody. Like, actually take your time. There's no rush. Like, there's no rush. I promise you, like, it's okay to get married at 35. It's okay to be single at 37 and be married at 39. It's okay to be married at 45. Like, not because all your friends are getting married, you're just going to get married to anybody. You will see shaggy. You will actually see shaggy. So anyways, and then the last question here is, or the last question I'm going to answer is, are we going to see some mommy and me content? And honestly, probably not. Probably not. You probably won't see like a vlog of like me doing mommy things 24 hours with a 6-month-old. Like, you probably won't see any of that, because I just do not see the value in sharing my child on the internet. I can talk about my experience with motherhood. I can talk about my experience as a mother, what that looks like, but you probably won't see like mommy and me content, me and my child doing like OOTDs. Like, you probably would not see that. And I think it's just because with having children on the internet, you have to be very careful. And what I've seen, or what I've observed, is there's a fine line between like having fun with your child and creating just like fun content with your child. There's a fine line between that and actually exploiting the child. And I've seen videos where I'm just like, this is exploitation. Like, you are exploiting your child. And not just for brand deals. People think, oh, they're only exploiting their child if like they're getting brand deals and making money with the child and blah 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 blah, and are they paying the child? And then there's questions about labor laws. But if you have your regular content, you don't have views, you put your child, and every time the child is involved, you have views. So now you keep putting the child because you know you're going to get views. You are exploiting your child. I remember, was it Haley Bailey's ex-boyfriend? He usually like films his child and just like posts the video on TikTok because he knows that he gets views. That's what people want to see. That's weird. Like, you are exploiting your child. Unfortunately, a lot of people actually feel that way. Like, a lot of people know deep down that if they put their child in their content, they are going to get more views, they're going to get more comments, they're going to get just like stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't really like that. And like, I signed up to be a content creator, I signed up for this life. My child did not. And like, what if she grows up to be a private person? Like, what if she doesn't like her life being like so out there? Like, then what? Like, really and truly, like, what is going to happen? And I think also being on the internet too, videos of children where 20,000 people have saved it, 15,000 people have saved it, 23K people shared this video. Like, why have 20,000 people shared a video of my child? Why have 20,000 people saved a video of my child? That's scary. That's actually scary. So I just feel like the more I thought about it, like, I was just like, yeah, no, like, I genuinely do not see the point. Like, I genuinely do not see the point. And I want to make a point of actually creating a brand that does not revolve around my family. Creating a brand that does not revolve around my child, around my family, around my husband. So if you go on my page, you're probably not going to see my husband in every video. Like, I've actually started to post him less and less because like my brand and my page is not really about my family. Like, they're their own separate people. They did not sign up for this life. I did. Anyways, I feel like I've been rambling for a long time, but I hope you guys enjoyed this chat. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Let's have some nice conversations in the comments. And yes, I will be back next Friday. We're going back to regularly scheduled programming. I just needed to like step off a little bit because things were actually occurring with my pregnancy that I was like, let me just take a step back. But we're back and we're going to continue the goal of making sure that we're showing up on YouTube and also making sure that we are trying to hit that goal of 5K subscribers by the end of 2025. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.